Band Radio Show. I'm your host, Ella Curry. Tonight is going to be fun. Next up, we have Miss Becky DeWitt. She is going to be new to our band radio show, and we're going to be discussing her Contempt series. Her characters' connections involve murder, suicide, deception, deliverance, and salvation. So prepare to just be wild as we move into our interview with Miss DeWitt. Becky DeWitt is an inspiring author who captures one's attention as she writes from experiences and encounters of daily living. For over 20 years, she has written about trials and tribulations from the ordinary, everyday perspective. The vision of her company, Blood Drop Inheritance Group, is to pen those words of inspiration and revelation from the throne room for all generations. So join me in welcoming Miss Becky DeWitt to Band Radio. Hello, Becky, how are you?
Hello, Ella. How are you tonight?
I am doing good. I'm excited about this interview because I hear another Southern voice.
All righty then. I'm excited.
Okay, so tell us about the Contempt series.
Contempt. Actually, to be truthful about Contempt, that book sat in my computer for about 2 years. I didn't think it was a good book. I didn't think there was anything to it. And then one day I was in prayer and the Lord said to send it to my mentor, Dr. Cheryl Hill. She read it in a day and called me back screaming, "Oh my God, you wrote this?" And so this book deals with choices, trappings of a lifestyle in the underworld. And then the final part is the redemption, people finding salvation and finding their way to God. And all three of my main characters, Ariana is the one who got trapped, Takeshi, and Tristan, they all end up being redeemed. That's the good thing about it. As you well said before, that I got kidnapping in there, I got murder in there, and then I like to say I got Jesus is in the book as well. I got a pastor in there. You got to have a resident pastor in the book.
Okay. So it's just a maze of mystery and twists and turns. Now, mysteries are one of my favorite categories of books. When I actually spend money and purchase books, I buy erotica, mystery suspense, and business books. So I have been reading a diehard mystery fan from my early 20s. So I know I'm going to be one of the people that love this series. So tell us about the books in the Contempt 3-book series.
Okay, so in the first book, Contempt, she's caught up in this lifestyle and she's caught between two people and the mystery and the runaway. She's thinking that she's running away from the trap, but she ends up deeper in another trap. And then comes the exposure. And then, she's in this lifestyle and she has the children and all kind of stuff just happens with her. She has to give up everything. And in the giving up of everything, that's when she finds salvation. That's when she finds Jesus. And God was so good to her that he had a resident pastor right there to bring her through because she had thoughts of suicide. She didn't think she was going to make it. So we're dealing with a lot of things in this book. Now, I do cliffhangers. I did a cliffhanger. And the funny thing is that with the cliffhanger of the first book, the readers, I had what I would call a contempt chat line. And the readers are what pushed out the next two books because they kept asking questions that I knew the answer to, and I was like, okay, well, let me formulate this into a book. So the next book, Reasons, gives the reason why there is contempt. And in Reasons, we get salvation again. There's exposure to hidden things that were left in the previous lifestyle that people didn't know about, children that they didn't know about. Protection comes forth, and they realize what they each may lose. And as a result of the readers again pushing out the last book, Sabotage. So we have all types of things that are going on in the book. In fact, I just had somebody call me today and said, "Is there a fourth?" No, I'm done. I think.
Now, I'm going to tell you something. When you have a really good series like this, and readers are getting all involved in creating different scenarios, they're not going to let you end this with 3 books. And if you do, you better come with a hellified new series with some slamming characters, because we buy into these series and these characters, and they're just like old friends. When these books end, we're like, oh my God, she left and went home, and you miss them.
Yes. In fact, the conversation was today was like, so what are we going to do? Or what are we going to do in the 4th book? And I'm like, I don't know. I have to go to God to get this stuff. I just like, this stuff is made up. And one of the things that I try to do is write so that the reader can see and envision each scene, because there's a lot of twists and turns. So when you get involved in one chapter, you think I'm going to go to another chapter. All of a sudden, I pop off someplace else. And one of the funniest things about the books is that my names are unusual. Okay, so the readers have a fascination with the names. Ariana, of course, we can do with an American name, but Takeshi and Tristan, Taro, these are all Japanese names. So they were like, "How did you do that?" I was like, "I just made it up, I just went and did some research, and then I put a little Japanese in the book and stuff like that." So you just try to do things that are different to capture their attention, to facilitate that interest for the reader.
And that is something that is going to really, seal the deal with these readers following you. Don't care what you write, and especially when they get to be part of the plan. So now let's talk about Ariana and Tristan. So in a Black Pearls interview, we talked about Ariana her destructive lifestyle comprised of loss, love, depression, suicidal thoughts, redemption, and a new life that she imagined. So tell us what's going on with Ariana, and if she's a young person, if she's a career girl, what is causing this kind of pain for her to create a destructive lifestyle?
Well, Ariana came from an unusual home background. Mother was, a party girl, drugs, alcohol, and things of that nature. So sometimes when you grow up in those types of atmospheres, you deal with root causes and residue, which causes you to seek a lifestyle that may be different, but you get caught up in it. And so Ariana, she's a pretty girl, a fly girl, and she meets somebody and she gets caught up, and she makes the attempt to be a working girl, but a working girl in the office environment and, in business. But, the lure was too much for her, so she ended up with Takeshi. But the irony of the whole story is she did not know that he was related to Tristan. Now, when she got hooked up with Tristan, we talking jet set. Oh, gosh. And the funny thing is, everybody who reads the book, they have their own imagination how Tristan looks. Tristan's good looking. Got swagger. Oh, yeah. I mean, and so, people say, oh, I think he looks like this, and I think he looks like that. I'm like, So we see what's coming out of your mind. But, he's got swagger. But he's cool, and, he has his own convictions and everything. So when he finds out, we got this triangle love story going on here, and when he finds out, she loses everything. She has children for him, twin boys, and she loses everything because, there's something from the past that's lurking because of things that she did before. So she loses everything, and by the time that they get into reasons, I don't know who's listening if they got the book, but anyway, by the time we get into the next book, Takeshi realizes that they have a daughter together. So the three-way connection is she's involved with both of these men, and she's had children for both of them and did not know it until the connection came.
Wow. So now let me ask question. In our Black Pearls magazine interview about the series, you said your inspiration from writing is a form of thought from God. And the books are filled with some serious adult conversations. Now, how do we balance that out? The divine purpose and mission and message, but then it's kind of sassy, like, how do you balance that?
Well, actually, God balances it. Because what we're trying to do, and what I believe what he's trying to do, is we're trying to reach people, everyday people, who may be caught up in that lifestyle, and let them know, or whatever lifestyle that you're caught up in, that there is redemption. Because these are things that people really go through in life. These are real life experiences. Hello, somebody. And so, at some point in time, you're going to get to the point in your life where, like, this is it. I'm done with that. I need to change. And so then this is allowing them to see that there is a place for you in the kingdom. There is redemption for you. God has a place for you, and he loves you. So, and he will send people into your life. So that's how I kind of balance it. But it is sassy. But it's all in the imagination.
Okay. You read into it what you want to read into it. I get it. Okay, so
that's it, because you gotta see the scenes for yourself. It's like, and when I'm writing, it's like the way the download comes. I'm seeing a scene, and I'm just writing what I see, and so I want to capture the reader so that they can see that as well. Now, some people go off and see a couple of other things. Oh, and one of the times that I had a contempt chat, poor Ariana, they dogged her out. She's a gold digger. I said, okay.
Now let me tell you something.
I said, she gonna get there. She gonna get there. She's a gold digger. She knew. I said, oh my Lord, I got to bring Jesus in. Help a little girl out here.
Now, anytime you got readers who are very passionate and vocal, and they love to hate someone, you have done your job as a writer.
Thank you, glory to God. Because I tell you what, they dogged her out. They dogged her out. They dogged her out bad. But we got her redeemed. We ended up getting her married to a pastor. Oh, Lord have mercy. That was something. And so when she got married to Pastor Wade, that was something right there. Because the women in the church, them sisters in the church, they looked at her. Where she think she coming from? They knew all about her. Oh, my God, but he didn't want her, to go through that. So, but she ended up being redeemed, and he helped her out, and he provided balance to her life, and that does happen, because in the church now, if there's a pastor single and somebody come in from out of town, and them sisters had their eye on him, they thinking one thing. It can cause a little bit of confusion.
I see. So let me ask you this. Okay, Contempt is a 3-book series. Did you plot these books out? Did you outline them and plan them? Or did you just kind of fly by the seat of your pants and let them tell you how they want to live out their lives on paper?
Actually, there is, the only structure I get is the structure from the Holy Spirit. Okay, so I just sit and say, okay, what are we doing today? Who are we talking about? What do you want to read? Now, the readers also, after the Contempt chat lines, they kind of like push some stuff. Well, who's this and what's going to happen? And who's that girl? Who's that girl at the end of the book? What's she doing? And, so those type of questions along pushed the things out that we have now in the form of reasons as well as the Sabotage. Now, that Sabotage book, at the end of Reasons, they wanted to know, well, who's getting buried? Well, who's that going in the grave? Like, okay, all right. And who's that young man standing in the shadows? So from questions and working to put that out, God helps me with all of that. There's no outline, just a flow.
Now, I kind of like that. I like that about authors, because a lot of times authors would send me books as a beta reader, and I'm reading maybe like the first 100 pages, and I can tell when something is rushed and something is added just to bit of outline, but not really going with the flow of the story. You can tell that they're trying to stick to some kind of plan or blueprint, and it makes a big difference. So I kind of but I can actually tell when the characters really were developed and were three-dimensional and not just a flat outline. And a lot of new authors do that. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but and you have to have a little experience to do that to make it feel good. Because I need to use all of my senses when I read. If you say you got out the car, I need to know when you stepped on the ground what the rocks sound like. If you're walking through a park chatting with someone, I need to know how the air blowing, the birds you saw, So I like when authors let the characters see, feel, and taste and smell and bring them around to three-dimensional.
That's very good, very good. And one of the things that helped me was every day, I have an 82-year-old aunt, and every day, she knew that I was working on it, and she was like, she wanted to know what happened every day because she read the first book in like 2 days. She couldn't put it down. And so when I started on the next book, she, would come home from work, and we just talk about it. She wanted to know what was happening. So that, in a sense, helped. Me as writing the next sequels and everything. She was just curious, what happened today? What'd you write about today? What's going on?
I bet she
had it out for Ariana too. She did. She said her mama told her. She was like old school, and she's like, her mama told her to be careful. I said, okay, look at here.
Now I like that first of all, your books are multi-generational, and I like the fact that multi-generations can read your books and enjoy your books and like the books. You have great reviews for the book. I was going to read some of the reviews, but I think we're ready for you to read from one of the books. So select one of the books from the series, set the scene, and tell us who's talking, what's happening, and you can take off and start reading. I'm ready.
Okay, well, what I'm going to do, I'm going to read from the first chapter of Contempt. And it's Ariana. And what you're going to do is get into the mindset of her running away. Here we go. Just like years before, the limo was running late. She kept pacing and looking at her watch. She knew that she had to make it to the airport on time. This was one time she could not afford to be late for a flight. Her very life depended on it. She stood at the door with her eyes closed, pleading on the inside. Please, God, let her be on time. I can't be late for this one. She heard the car in the driveway and immediately opened the door to run out. For one instant, she took a breath. She turned around to look back, and then she continued to run. This time, she was leaving it all. The money, the wealth, the position, and the husband. All of it. She just had to leave. It was over. Ariana knew that if she did not make this move to step through the open door, she would be left behind in a life that would spiral out of control and take her to places that she could never imagine or even wanted to think about. The driver opened the door to help her with her luggage. She held up her hand to say stop. She opened the door for herself and threw the luggage in the back seat. LAX, and quickly, said Ariana, frantically. I'm sorry, ma'am, that I'm late, replied the driver. I have never been in this neighborhood before. It's okay, said Ariana. Just get me there at least an hour before the flight takes off. Tell you what, if you can get me there, I'll throw in an extra $250 tip. Well, yes, ma'am, said the driver. He was going to make that money today because he thought to himself, I'm going to get this money. Speeding down the freeway, she looked out of the window at the skyline of the city. This was it. She was never coming back or even thinking about it. She had made a mistake, and she just needed to admit it to herself. What was she thinking? She did it. He was not the right one. She never even did the homework. She took the shortcut, fast, flying, easy. Her mother warned her. She would always say, honey, do the research, do the homework, and that'll tell you what is it. She just looked at it on the outside. She looked at it, what he had, how good he looked. Never imagined what his life was all about. Some days she could not even breathe because of the fear. As soon as she thought about it, that night would enter in her mind. She would relive it over and over. She did not even know how she got there or what happened to cause this anger to explode to that extent. She began to question herself about herself. Sitting in the back seat, she was shaking her head. Not today, not today. Today is my day of freedom from the past. When the driver opened the door and she put her feet on the ground, she felt something on the inside. She did not understand, but she felt something, and it was not fear. Entering into the terminal, passing through the security point, and arriving at the gate seemed like a whirlwind. It all happened so fast. As soon as she walked to the gate, they were calling for the seating. She continued walking down the walkway. It all seemed like a stroll into the future. He would never see her again. Ever. And that is a quick view of the coming attraction.
Okay. And so for those of you who may have just joined us, I know a lot of people just came on Facebook and on the Band Radio Show. We're chatting with Miss Becky DeWitt, and we're talking about her Contempt series. And it includes the book Contempt, Lies, Deceit, and the Miracles. And then it includes the book Reasons, and the last book is Sabotage. And it is a maze of mystery with twists and turns that will keep the readers on the edge. The character connections involve murder, suicide, deception, kidnapping, deliverance, and salvation. The series is filled with questions: who, what, when, where, and how. And the books are all three available on Kindle. So, Becky, do you have a website for these books?
Yes, I do have a website, but they can purchase on Amazon. My website is www.bdig-beckydewitt.org.
Okay, so Becky, I think some of these people on the phone lines are here to speak with you. So I'm going to call out their area codes. So if you're on Band Radio Show, the phone line's waiting. I never will call out your entire phone number. Never ever. I call out the first 6 digits of your phone. And then I'll open the phone lines and you can speak with Becky and you can tell us how you enjoy her reading. You can ask her any questions. If you read her books, we'd love for you to tell us your favorite characters and the books you like. So we're going to start with area code 843. Area code 843, and the next number is 424. Your line is open. Welcome to Band Radio Show, and Becky is live.
Well, thank you very much. Miss Becky, I so enjoy what I'm hearing. Question is, how soon and quickly will someone be able to get a set of these books, and where can I pick them up from?
I know this voice, Apostle G. I will make sure that you get a set, and I will check my stock, but I will make sure that you get a set. Okay, so either Sunday or Monday in my travels to the Conway area. I will connect with you on that. And thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you. Thank you.
God bless.
God bless.
Thank you for calling into Band Radio. Okay, so next up, we have area code 910. Area code 910, and the next numbers are 220. 910, the next numbers are 220. Welcome to Band Radio Show.
Hi, I'm so happy to be here, Miss Becky. I am so excited to hear about your book. I can't wait to read them.
Thank you so much. Is this what I think it is? Is this Adrena?
Yes, ma'am. I am ready to get my book.
Thank Thank you so much. I appreciate all your support.
So in regards of the fourth installment, I know you were talking about Mike. Now, how much will we have to press to get that out?
Oh, Lord have mercy. Okay, so we're going to pray about that because I'm working on something else right now. But if the Contempt people, the readers, press me, there may be something else coming. We'll see.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So, caller, have you read the first 3 books?
No, I have not. I have been so busy, but I've heard so much about it. And even that little snippet that she just gave, I was like, oh my goodness, I'm going to have to make time. I don't know what you're doing, but you're going to have to make some time for these books.
Okay, great. So thank you for calling into Band Radio.
Thank you.
So next up, we have a caller from 704. Caller from 704. The next numbers are 682. Welcome to Band Radio Show.
Thank you. So are you sure it's not going to be a number 4? Because I have read series 1, 2, book 2, and book 3, and I just can't just read that little snippet. I'm going to read the books out again this weekend and reread it, because once you pick it up, you cannot put the book down.
I know who this is, Ella. I know. Camille. I don't know. Camille always pushing. She's like, what you going to do? How much longer? Camille, pray for me, girl.
I really am. I'm going to the throne room, for real. It's so catching. It's so intriguing. You can see the pictures. You can see the characters' faces. It's so vivid. So in my spirit, I feel a book 4. I really, really do. So I can't wait.
Okay, Camille, you're pushing. I understand. No problem. Ella, she's one of the people that will call and say, how much longer? When is it going to be finished? She's one of those people.
Camille, who's your favorite character in the series?
Oh my gosh, I couldn't pick, because the brothers, they all have a special part. But I like Adrena the most because you can see her evolve in each book, and even in each chapter. You get real excited when she has her breakthrough moment. Tristan. Okay, I know their Japanese names. I could not pronounce the names, but the brothers, has the most breakthrough. Their whole story, because you can see it from Contempt all the way to book 3 when it goes even deeper into the family line. So I think I need to stop in case if anybody else needs to pick up the book and read it. But I'm really breakthrough of everybody in that family, of how every person is connected, how every line is, how the characters really, you wouldn't think they would be connected, but they are so connected. And then the people she brings out in the woodwork, oh my gosh. So yeah, book 4, please.
All right, Camille. Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you for joining us on Band Radio. So next up, we have a caller. The area code is 443. The area code is 443, and the next numbers are 474. The caller from 443, your line is open. You're on the air with Becky.
Miss Ella, I'm ready. I'm like, she better call my number. I can't take this because this book, everybody who's listening, listen to me. You will be screaming. You will be jumping around your house. You will be like, what? What just happened? Oh my God. And you won't be able to go to sleep. I read that book all night long because I had to know what happened. And what Becky didn't tell you is this book is about the underworld. And it's about God. And it's about what in the world? How could this happen? And you are so deep, and she brings characters in like it's going to blow your mind. And nobody but God could do this. I'm reading the manuscript, and then I forgot who wrote it. And then the Lord reminded me, Becky, and I'm like, what? I said, God, this is some incredible reading, and I think that the people are off. She's not going to do a book 4. It's a movie. You just don't know it yet. It's a movie. Tyler Perry can't touch this. They can't touch this thing right here. No way. No way. The best of the best cannot touch it. It's God. And when it comes out, like Camille, we were texting while you all were talking. She was like, drop the mic. Boom! That's what this book is. Boom! I'm telling you, you won't be able to put it down. And we've been walking with Becky since she did the book. You had 80-year-old people. Okay, what's the next book? And we're watching this fire on this book all over the place. I sent it to about 20 people. I said, you got to get this. And I said, tell me what you think. And everybody is screaming. This is fire. And Holy Ghost fire is underworld fire. Is fire all on this thing here. Not because I know Becky. When she sent it to me, I'm like, okay, let me just read the manuscript. And I started screaming 20 minutes later. And I made everybody in the house read it. And they started screaming. And that's when I knew something fire is on this book. Period. Mm-mm. So let me be quiet. Let me get my scream out.
Okay, Ella, that is my mentor, Dr. Cheryl Hill. And, I sent her the book, and she was like, because I was nonchalant. And she was nonchalant. Oh, okay, all right, yes, I'll read it. And then she called me back, screaming, oh, my God. And because it was like, you wrote this? Did you write this? Yes, I did. I didn't think anything of it. It was just sitting there for 2 years. I didn't think it was any good. But I praise God for her looking at it, reviewing it, and saying, you got to do something with this. Mm-hmm.
Well, y'all have sold me. I mean, I'm ready to read all 3 copies. And I want to scream.
Yeah, because you know what, Ella, Dr. C knows the twists and the turns and everything. And she was like, when you get to one point, you put it, and then it's like, oh, my God. So then and she's like, I can see it. It's a movie. It's got to be a movie. I try to be calm through everything. But I have my own private screen.
I love it. So we're gonna have to work on getting this book 4 because your people are ready. Dr. Cheryl Hill, work on her a little bit more and see if we can get that book 4.
Well, you're going to be surprised in about a month. So you got to have her back because that's all I'm going to say. Because.
And I'm glad you're speaking it into existence, putting it in the universe, that the Contempt series will be a movie. Let's say Lifetime, big screen, movie.
So you're prophesying. You're saying it, Miss Ella. Boom.
There it is.
You heard it here. So you can tell everybody who's listening. First, I'm telling you what we know. You heard it here first, and you need to keep track. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so
thank you, Dr. C.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for being on Band Radio Show. You made the book exciting for me. Okay, so next up we have a caller from 859. I've never seen that zip code before. A caller from 859, and the next numbers are 492. Caller from 859, your line is open and Becky's live. 859. You can speak to Miss Becky DeWitt if you like. Okay, so sometimes we have people who call in and just listen to the show, because you can do that. You can either listen online from any device, or you can listen live on the show. So thank you for listening in. I'm going to mute your mic, and I hope you... Oh, well, wait a minute. I might have deleted... Are you there, caller?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Can you speak up just a little bit? And Becky's here.
I'm Becky's cousin from Kentucky, and we were.
Oh my gosh!
And we were listening to the interview and everything. And I've read the first book, but I haven't read the second and the third. But by listening to her and listening to her read some of it, we are definitely going to get book 2 and book 3. And we just want to say that we are very proud of her, and we going to really get that book.
Oh my God, thank you. That's my cousin. Andrea.
Yes.
Oh my God, it's so good to hear you. Well, that's a blessing for me tonight. Okay.
Including Aunt Mary.
You got Aunt Mary too? Oh my God. Okay, so we got the generation thing going on here now, Ella. So I praise God for my cousin and my aunt being on the line. Look at God.
And your aunt can speak to you if she wants to. If your aunt would like to speak to you, she can. The line is open.
Oh, that's okay. She said she would talk to her personally.
Okay. There you go.
All right, then.
Thank you.
God bless.
God bless.
Okay, so we have another caller from area code 843. Caller from area code 843. The next number is 246. Area code 843, and the next number is 246. Let's see at the line. Okay. Your line is open for Becky.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Curry, for this opportunity, and to say congratulations to Prophetess Becky DeWitt. We certainly thank God for you, your ministry, your publishing, and everything. And as Dr. C said, we look for great things to come from this higher height, and just go forward and globally with all of this. And much success to you, and God's blessing. We love you much.
Thank you. That's Minister Cedric. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Yes, thank you for the opportunity.
Oh, thank you for joining us on Being Radio. Okay, so for those of you who may have just joined us on the phone lines or just joined from Facebook, we were just chatting with Becky DeWitt about her Contempt series. The books, there are 3 books in the series. There's Contempt, Lies, Deceit, and the Miracles. Then there's Reasons, and then there's the final book, Sabotage. All of the books, all 3 of them are available on Kindle, and you can get them tonight. So, Becky, what is the one thing you would like the listeners on the phone, the people on live stream, what's the one thing you want them to know about your body of work?
Well, I would say, first of all, that everything that I write is Christian-based, of course. But I would say the one word that if I'm going to give one word, I would say redemption. Even though you start out one way, it's not over until God says it's over. So there's always the possibility of the greater.
I love it. I love it. Now, when we interviewed you on Black Pearls magazine, I asked you what advice would you give aspiring authors that would help them finish a project when they have so many ideas running through their head at one time. I know at any given time, I'm thinking about 5 different things I can launch because they all seem exciting. And as writers, sometimes we have a lot of projects going through our head, because I know you write, you've written a children's short stories, you've written your first novel, Stolen Property, that was an adventure into the supernatural, and you write mysteries. So what piece of advice would you give someone about being strategic when you have so many ideas running together at once?
I would definitely say keep a notebook and a pen with you at all times. Because in the beginning, when I was getting these downloads from the Holy Spirit, I'd be driving, I would have to look for, I was writing on receipt, okay? So I've learned the lesson to keep a notebook with me at all times because I never know when something's going to happen. Recently, I could not find a particular notebook, changing pocketbooks, as we do Southern girls. I could not find a particular notebook. And I was looking through the house, and I'm like, Holy Spirit wants me to find this notebook. When I found the notebook, there were ideas in there for 3 different books. And I'm like, ooh, okay, all right, I'm not ready for it. At least I know that it's there. So mainly keep a notebook and a pen with you at all times. Because you never know when, if you are in the flow, you never know when you're going to get an idea. Then once you get the idea, make your notes and try to strategize and be strategic with it. Because it is all about the timing of God when you release the book.
Now, here's your answer. I'm going to read the answer you gave me on Black Pearls Magazine. It is important to have a strategy if you are working on several projects at one time. Organize the day to determine what project to work on and the availability. Set completion goals such as daily chapters, final editing, and even submission for the publication. Dates will assist in you being focused forward.
Yes.
I like that.
Most definitely.
So
And you know what? Let me be honest with you. So today I kind of got distracted, and I have to have I got to be structured to do something every day. So the project that I'm working on right now today, I didn't even get in but a half a chapter. Because I was busy all during the day with other things. And right before the show, I ended up finishing that chapter. So I feel like I was a little bit behind, if you understand what I'm saying.
well, for me, working on all my stuff and all my craziness, I never really feel behind or lost because I feel like that, it's God's time. It's going to come out when it should. I set some standards and some goals and things. But if by some chance, something happens and it get put off, I'm okay with that because it's usually a reason.
Yes.
So before we close out the show,
Yeah.
I want to mention something that's very important before I close out the show. Becky has written a children's series titled Destiny's Closet, and it's going to have a sequel, Stolen Property. I'm really big this year on children's literature and books for teens and our new adults. I want kids to read books that they can see themselves and that uplift them. And with this quarantine and pandemic and children not being able to go to school and see their friends, I know that can be hard on them. And some of them may have a little bit of sadness or depression. So I need them to have their own books that they can see themselves. So before we go, tell the audience about Destiny's Closet.
Destiny's Closet is a children's book that teaches children the importance of having a relationship with Jesus. And how that started out in the book. The children, when they go to church, they hear people talk about their prayer closet. So Destiny goes home and cleans out her closet and sits in there with a chair and thinking that she's going to talk to Jesus. And what happens is she does have a conversation in the realm of the spirit. So then she tells her friends, and they all of a sudden having pajama parties in the closet talking to Jesus. So it's an important thing is to tell the children that you can talk to Jesus in your own way. But they take what we say, the language that we use, the terminology that we use, and they take it and make it into a real adventure. That's in the first book. The second book, Destiny's Closet Circle of Friends, that is when they go back to school, because the first book starts in the summer. That is when they go back to school, and one of the things that I dealt with in that book, that was years ago, was bullying. And then I also dealt with the fact that they couldn't take a Bible to school. So a couple of social issues. The third book, Destiny's Closet, The Wonder School, ended up coming out because the children want their own school. They want a school where they can worship and praise Jesus. There's a chapel. They learn the different names of God. So it was like something to bring children into their relationship with God on their level and their learning aspect of it, to learn Jesus in their own way.
Okay, awesome. So where can we get those books?
Those books can be bought at Amazon.com or AuthorHouse.com.
Okay, awesome. So Becky DeWitt is the author we're chatting with now about her Contempt series. So Becky, I want to thank you so much for joining us on Band Radio Show tonight. I've had a blast. I've learned a lot, and I'm excited to read your Contempt series.
Thank you so much for having me, Ella, and you know I'll be in touch.
All righty then. We'll be also sharing and promoting the Contempt series across social media for the entire month of June and July. And I hope that you'll be able to pick up those social media ambassadors who will join our team and help us spread the word about the Contempt series.
Yes, thank you so much. I appreciate it.